All right, I genuinely want this video to be a breath of fresh air. I want this to be different from any make money online video you've ever seen, because chances are if you click this video, you're probably tired of all the course sellers. You're probably tired of starting one business model just to realize this shit is not gonna work, going to the next one, failing that as well. And you might even just be starting to think this shit's all a scam. Now, I'm not gonna claim you're gonna make $1 million your first year doing this, but if you are yet to make your first couple $1,000s online, I promise this is the last video you'll ever need. Now, again, to be clear and 1,000% transparent, I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this. And once you do make your first couple $1,000s, my goal is to help you scale, for which you will pay me. And that's how I make money off these YouTube videos. But the point of this video is solely to get you to that point. I am not trying to sell you anything. And I genuinely do not think there's an easier way to start making money online than the model I'm about to introduce. So follow this to a T, and I promise you, if you come back here in 2 weeks, you will have made your first couple $100s online at the very least. All right, guys, I cooked up a little presentation so you can follow along while watching this video and actually just get it set up as you go through this. So basically the model, just to explain the way it works, you are going to be marketing for local services, right? Local services like plumbing, cleaning, car detailing. These are all services that everybody always needs. There's a huge demand. There's no AI taking over. There's no, again, everybody's always going to need a plumber when their toilet's clogged. And what you're going to do is you're going to market for these services because there's such high demand. It's really easy to get customers. Okay, I'll show you exactly how, but I promise it's really fucking easy if you do it the way I say, and you don't have to spend money on ads. And from there, you're going to book the appointment, right? You're going to close the job, and you're going to find a cheap contractor, a cheap laborer to do the job. Usually, you can find somebody to do the jobs for around 50%, and then you're going to take your cut. That's how you're going to make your money, okay? So that's the model. There's 4 main parts to it: getting the lead, booking the appointment, finding the laborer, and then, of course, getting paid and taking your cut. Now, again, I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't really care to flex, but this is my second month doing this. I literally made $30,000 in profit my second month. But again, that doesn't matter. You can watch my other videos to see whether I'm a scammer or a course seller, and that's all I do. You can watch all my other videos. I have a shit ton of free info. But here I'm going to run you through how you can literally just make your first dollar so you can validate this and finally do something that's going to make you money online. And then you can see if you want to scale it, whatever. If you don't want to, cool with me as well. But this is how you can make your first dollar, okay? So the first step going into this is going to be choosing your service and creating your GMB profile. GMB stands for Google My Business and is basically one of those listings whenever you search up cleaner near me or cleaning service near me or car detailing service near me, there's typically going to be 3 spots that show up on Google for businesses that you can then call and book an appointment with. Why don't I actually just show you in real time? So let me open up a new tab. For some reason, there you go. So if I search up cleaner near me, right, one of these 3 businesses that shows up at the top is most likely going to be the company that I call in order to book that service, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to list these profiles, and this is how people are going to find us, okay? Now, you might be asking, well, okay, you list the profile, but how do you actually get people to call you, and how do you show up in the top 3? Again, it's actually way, way easier than a lot of people think. And the reason being is because a big thing with Google's ranking is the proximity. So just to actually show you what I mean by this, right? If I search cleaner near me, what you'll notice is that the businesses that are the closest to distance from me, you can see this is my location over here, the businesses that are closest in distance are the ones that show up first. So while this guy is probably not ranking across the whole city of Toronto with his 5 reviews and a 4-star rating profile, he's ranking second for me. So there's a very big chance that I actually might call this guy if I'm looking for a cleaner. Now, take into perspective, I live in an apartment building with hundreds of people. The apartments beside me have hundreds of people. So there is genuinely hundreds of opportunities for this business to get calls. Even if he doesn't rank across a big area, the people nearby will see this business profile at the top, and there's a high chance that they're going to call him, right? Now, again, if I go ahead and click search this area, completely different set of rankings, right? Completely different people, completely different businesses. Over here, again, completely different. But you'll see over here, even this guy with 0 reviews is ranking at the top. This guy with 26 reviews with a 3.7-star rated profile is ranking at the top. So what we're going to do is just to start to make your first little bit of money, all you need is one of these profiles, okay? We're going to list one of these profiles. We're going to do things a little bit better than all of these guys because, again, you're competing with cleaners. Like, they don't really know what they're doing most of the time unless they come from a marketing background. And I'm going to teach you how to basically do everything that somebody in a marketing background would do. And we're going to basically just get some reviews on this, okay? Now, I'll be honest, the first couple reviews here and there are not going to be authentic, okay? You need to build them up somehow, though, and let's be real here, a ton of these companies have fake reviews, so who cares? But that's basically the way that it's gonna work, okay? And so anyone in that area looking for that service is going to call you, and that's how you're gonna get your customers. Now, it is usually going to be the easiest to start with house cleaning services or car detailing services. These are the ones that Google is the most lenient on in terms of verification. So you need to verify this profile to get it listed on Google. And it's also going to be the easiest one to find a contractor in, because, for example, something like plumbing, which, by the way, that's where I make most of my money. And it's great because you can have higher ticket jobs that are, worth more. You can have more emergency based services where people are kind of in a panic and so they pay more. But Google's pretty strict on it because you need like licensing and whatnot to have a plumbing company, whereas anyone can list a cleaning business, which also means it's pretty easy to find contractors. It's pretty easy to find somebody to clean a house for you. A lot of people need fucking money. A lot of people really want money. And so they will do these jobs for $20, $25 an hour, in which you can make at least a 50% markup, okay? So how you actually list this profile, again, I recommend house cleaning or car detailing, but this is basically how it would work. You're going to go on Google and you're going to search up GMB. That's it. You're going to hit the first link that says get listed on Google. It might be a little bit down. Just find it. Get listed on Google, and you're going to hit create your profile. Okay. Now you're going to put in your business name. So this is actually very important. Like I said, these cleaning businesses don't know what they're doing. So here's where you can actually get the upper edge. Whenever someone is searching for a service, they're either searching cleaner or the biggest search term, and by the way, there's data to back this up, so I'll show you. I don't want to get too complicated, but there's websites that basically give you data on what searches are the most common. So I was actually just doing this for someone that I work with, but let's say I go to the United States and I'm looking for a cleaner in let's say, I don't know, Chicago, right? So I'll click search, and basically 9 times out of 10, the biggest search term, the one that gets the most amount of searches out of all these 53,000 people searching for something related to cleaning in Chicago, it's most commonly going to be cleaning services Chicago. So cleaning services plus the city. That is what you want to name your profile, because when you name your profile exactly what people are searching, like literally the exact term, it's going to rank up higher because Google sees it as more relevant, right? And for that reason, it shows it higher to customers. Okay, so that's what you're going to name your profile. Okay, you're going to name it. Let's say we're doing a car detail. Let's say we're doing cleaning service. So you're going to call it Cleaning Services Toronto, which is where I live. And you also want to throw in a little bit of a brand name so that it's not just like straight like Cleaning Services Toronto. You want to give it some type of a brand name. So you can call it Shiny Ridge Cleaning Services Toronto. It doesn't matter what you name it. And then the business category is going to be house cleaning service. So this is specifically, again, if you're doing cleaning, right? Then you're going to hit next. And then you're going to say, do you want to add a location? This is very important because, like I said, this is what Google bases its proximity off of, right? Whatever address you put is the address where people close by are going to find your business profile. So put an address in, and again, this will just be in your city. Usually is the easiest way to do it. And so for me, I'm just going to put in a random address. Let's do 1235 Bay Street. Next, and then it's going to ask me if any of these businesses are mine. I'm going to scroll down and hit nope. And then I'm going to hit no on this as well. And the last thing it's going to ask me is for my phone number as well as a website. So you can skip the website for now, but you're going to put in a phone number. So 416-789, This is just a random number, by the way, with a local area code. And this is basically the last step, okay? It's going to now verify your profile. Now, with cleaning services and car detailing services, the great thing with these is that either it'll let you just instantly get verified, right? If you have a good Gmail account and a good Google account that's been inactive for a while, that's like has trust on Google and they know that you're a real person, a lot of the times your business profile won't even ask for any of this. However, worst case is they're going to ask you for a phone number code. So this is where you're basically going to get a code to your phone number. You're going to hit next, and then you're going to put in that code. And again, this is a random number, by the way. This is not my actual number, so I can't put it in. But once you put this number in, you're going to get verified, okay? With plumbing and other businesses, they're not going to let you do this, okay? They're going to make you do a video, so it doesn't work. It's not as easy, which is why I kind of recommend starting with these. But now, once you do this, once you get that phone number code done, your business profile is now going to be listed on Google. It'll look something like this, actually. I'll just pull up one of mine. Let's say boom, boom, boom. So this one over here, I just created, so it's saying code requested, but it looks something like this. This is just like one of the detailing ones that I have up, right? And so as you can see, again, mobile car detailing Toronto is the reason, is the like the main search term, which is why that's in my business profile's name. But that's basically the whole creation process for the business profile, okay? Now, in order to start getting calls on this profile, it's genuinely as easy as doing the following. Number one, getting reviews. So get your friends and family, get whoever you can. There's a ton of ways to get reviews. I have a ton of videos on like how to get reviews. Like I've done things like posting on Facebook Marketplace, giving out a gift card, and anytime people would message me, I'd be like, hey, yeah, I'll send you $5 if you can leave me a review. I've hired kids to go to the mall and just literally go to the food court and ask people to get me reviews. Just go up to people and say, hey, my friend started this business. Me and my friend started this business. Can you leave us a 5-star review? It'll take 10 seconds. And they'd get me, hundreds of reviews over the span of a week just at the mall asking people. I've, gone to college campuses, gave out free drinks in exchange for reviews. So there's a lot of ways to do it. I have videos on that as well, but find a way to get yourself maybe 30, okay? If you can get 30 reviews, I promise you're going to start getting calls. The more, the better, right? The more reviews, the wider your business profile is going to rank. But that's the first thing. The name is also the second most important thing, but we got that sorted from the beginning. Now, make sure you do that from the beginning because you can't change the name after without the profile asking to get verified again, and you don't want that, okay? The verification process is annoying. You don't want to get it to ask you to verify again. And from there, again, it's as simple as getting some nice photos. So I'm not going to lie, just kind of get them off a different company. And you're going to go into edit profile, and you're basically just going to use ChatGPT to fill in all of this stuff. Okay, fill in the description, add some random stuff here. Google just likes to see a filled out profile with random stuff, like literally just a bunch of random garbage. You can fill it in with that. And that is basically everything you would need, right? Again, it's really not that difficult. The main thing is matching up your title with what people are searching, as well as getting enough reviews so people see your profile. Okay, it's got a 5-star rating. It's got enough reviews. People can read it and see it. And the reviews actually help a lot with the ranking. You'll always notice, right? If I'm searching for a plumber in, let's just say I want to go down to Niagara Falls, right? The ones with the highest reviews are typically going to be the ones at the top, aside from using the right keywords. So you can see these guys are using plumber Niagara Falls, which is why this guy with 21 reviews has the exact same as my search, and he's ranking higher than all of these other guys, right? That is literally the reason why this guy with 21 reviews is showing up higher. And again, just to give you some visual reference, you can see this is just a website called SEMrush, by the way. I'm going to have to open a new one because it only gives you 10 free searches a day, and I refuse to pay. If I open up Canada and I search plumber Niagara Falls, right? The main search term, what most commonly shows up, is exactly that, plumber Niagara Falls, right? So that's why the name matters a lot, because out of all the search terms, this is the most common, and my name matches up exactly with that. It's not my business profile, it's somebody else who kind of knows what they're doing, but that's basically how this whole process of ranking works. Now, once your profile ranks, you are going to get calls. It's inevitable. There's no way that you're not going to get calls as long as there is search volume in that area. If you're in a city that doesn't have like 3 people, there's going to be search volume and you're going to be getting calls. And your job to do now is to close the job, right, with the person on the phone. And so you're going to get a ton of calls. Now, once you're scaling and having more profiles up, you're going to use a software called CallRail. I have other videos on that, so don't worry about it for now, but just so you know, in the future, you're going to have multiple business profiles. They're all going to have different phone numbers that are funneling to you. And so you want to set up a CallRail account so that you can get those calls and manage everything, right? But your goal is to basically do a couple things, right? When they call, answer professionally. So answer the phone professionally, because a lot of these other companies don't do that, right? These are, cleaners and plumbers and whatever. They're kind of rude, to be honest. They don't really know how to answer the phone well. And so you're going to get a big upper edge by just being like, hey, this is Eric speaking from Shiny Ridge Cleaning Services. How can I help you today? Right? People are going to be a lot more willing to pay you, who's not rude as fuck like a lot of the other, maybe you even have experience calling these like local businesses. Sometimes they're rude, okay? Answer the phone professionally. And in terms of booking the appointment, this is another reason why I say cleaning and detailing is pretty good, because you can just have standard pricing, right? So look around your area. This is where you have to do a little bit of due diligence, my bad. But different areas do have different pricings. For detailing, it's pretty standard. I always just do $200 for the interior of the car, $250 for the interior and the exterior. Familiarize yourself a little bit with the service, right? If you're doing cleaning, you can kind of get a pricing structure with ChatGPT on like square footage and whatnot. But you're basically going to answer the phone nicely, and you're just going to get competitive pricing. See what other companies are charging and just do the same thing, average it out. And when somebody calls, you're going to tell them the price. Not everybody's going to agree, but for these services, around 1 out of 3 people will. Okay, and when they do agree, you're going to get the customer's address. You're going to book a time and a day for the appointment. Now you have booked your first appointment. You're this close to making your first dollar online. Again, you're not the one doing the job. You're going to find somebody to do it for you. So that is where the next part comes in, finding someone at a 50% margin. So with cleaning services, for example, you can probably find people hourly. And the way you want to look for these people is on marketplaces and places where people are kind of almost desperate for work. I don't want to say it in like a negative way that's like kind of bringing people down, but there is a lot of people who need work. There's a lot of people who need money and they're willing to work for pretty cheap, especially in these places. So Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, Nextdoor, Craigslist, Google listings. And when I say Google listings, I mean the ones at the very bottom with like no reviews, so you know that they don't get calls. So these are great places because these are people who are actively like asking, like, give me jobs, right? If they're in Facebook groups messaging people saying like, hey, I'm a cleaner in this area, I just moved in, I want to do jobs, I'm hungry for work, you know that they'll be willing to work for cheap. And so you're going to find them on these places. For example, like, car detailing, you can go on Facebook Marketplace and find a ton of people charging, under $100 a car when you're charging $200, and you're going to approach them basically offering them what they already charge. So you're not going to go up to them and say, hey, I'm going to take 50% of your money. You're going to say, hey, you charge $100 to clean a car. Great. I have people who are interested in getting their car cleaned, and I'd love to send them to you, and we can work out a partner deal. Now, I'm paying for ads, and I'm going to talk to the customers. So in order for me to make money as well, because I'm a human as well, I will add a markup so I can make a bit of money, but you're going to get paid the same amount as you already wanted, right? You're going to get your $100. I'm just going to add a markup for my time, for my effort, and for my money spent on the marketing. They don't know that you're not actually spending any money on marketing because these profiles are completely free to list, but you're going to tell them that, and that way they're going to be a lot more willing and accepting. They're not going to feel like you're taking advantage of them taking that 50%, right? So they're getting their $100 and everyone's happy, okay? And usually you want to stack up a couple people who are ready to take jobs before you get a ton of jobs coming in. Now, I also don't want you bothering a bunch of people saying, hey, I have a bunch of jobs before you even have any. So typically what I do is I'll wait for my first real call from a customer, from somebody who is potentially wanting to get one of my services done. And then as soon as I get that first call, I'll book the appointment and try to hustle someone out. And from there, I know, okay, this is going to keep growing. I'm going to get more people. I'm going to get a list of people that I can contact. And from there, it's as simple as sending the person to do the job at the time of the appointment. I just froze for a second. There you go. You're just going to send them to the person's address at the time of the appointment. They're going to take care of the job, and you're going to make your money. So usually you can just take the payments yourself. Again, why am I freezing? Or you can let them take the payments. So personally for my plumbing business, since they are relatively big payments, you can kind of see like this is an example of a $3,500 commercial job. Right? I took the $3,500, I sent my plumber his money, and you can kind of see how the process looks, right? I text the customer, hey, this is the the amount to pay. Here's the link to pay it, and then they're like, boom, payment made. Your guy did a great job. Blah blah blah. Here's the invoice, address, whatever. Now, if you don't want to worry about this, again, start with like a cleaning service because nobody really cares about an invoice for $200 or $300 or $400 even. And you can also get your cleaner to take the money. I wouldn't recommend it for cleaning. For detailing, you can let them take the money. I usually did that for cleaning because you pay them hourly a lot of the time. You don't honestly really want them to know how much the money is, but it doesn't really matter. However the customer wants to pay, just let them pay. So get something ready for payment processing with a credit card like Square or Stripe. If you're in Canada, e-transfer. If you're in the States, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App. Just get it all ready. Once the job's done, the customer's going to pay you. You pay your worker or vice versa. Honestly, don't overthink it. Just agree on something with the person you're working with. There should be trust involved. You shouldn't have to feel like they're scamming you. You want to talk on the phone as well for a couple minutes before sending the person out, just to vet them to make sure they're not going to steal from you. I have, again, a whole video on like the whole vetting process that he's actually just posted it. If you want to watch it, it's my latest video. But that's basically it. And you make your first dollar. To scale, of course, you can charge higher prices with higher ticket industries like plumbing. Again, you can charge a couple $1,000s sometimes for jobs. Rinse and repeating, literally the exact same process. So more business profiles with more reviews across more areas, and then automating the calls, right? So hiring someone to answer the phone for you, and then hiring someone to create these profiles and getting more reviews. And that's basically it. But to make your first dollar, literally just set up one profile, get 30 reviews on it, okay? Now, the more profiles you set up with the more reviews, the less time you're gonna have to wait. Because I will be honest, that one profile with 30 reviews, yes, it's very easy to do, but again, it is very easy. You can't expect to make a shit ton of money from it. But let's say you set it up today and you get 30 reviews. There's a good chance 2 weeks from now you close, a sale or maybe 2 sales. But if you were gonna set up 10 profiles with, 30 reviews on each of them, then there's a good chance that honestly 2 weeks from now you do that and you're making like a couple grand a month at least. And that's how I started. I started with detailing and then I transitioned to plumbing so that I can charge higher. And also I live in Canada, so it's like more seasonal detailing. No one wants to detail a car when it's snowing. But that's basically the whole process behind it. Again, the more you put in, the more you get out with this. The great thing about this is it's a very logistic-based business model where it's just numbers, right? You do the inputs, you get the result. There's no winning product that you have to find out with drop shipping. There's no app idea that you have to spawn out of your head. There's no charts and market research that you have to do where, the market might be down and your day trading gets fucked up, right? No, this is straight logistics. This is the amount of search volume, right? There's a ton of people looking for this service. You're in the top 3. People are going to call you. You just need to find someone to do the work. And from there, again, you want to scale, create a website, make it look more proper and professional, which will grow over time. But this is how you make your first dollar. It's as simple as this, just so you can actually understand, like, this shit's not a scam. Do this. And from there, scale it to the moon. So watch my other videos. I have a lot of videos on like getting more into this, scaling to $20, $30, $50,000 a month in profit. Once you sort of vetted it. And again, if you want to just jump straight into it, go through my other videos. I have a ton of free content, so give those a watch. And in the future, if you do want to work with me to scale your remote service business, that's what I call it, remote service arbitrage, just a fancy name for, literally just a fancy name that I say for YouTube videos. But if you are interested in scaling your remote service arbitrage business to 20, 30K a month in profit over the span of 2 to 3 months, and you want my one-on-one support in the future doing this, again, or if you want it now, of course, I'm going to say like, hey, you can buy from me. I make these YouTube videos for a reason. I have nothing to hide. But this is how you make your first money online. If you want to do this, make your first couple grand and then hit me back so that you can get to 20, 30K a month and schedule a call with me. It's going to be the first link in the description. On the call, I'll basically run you through the exact process of what I do with my students. So I basically set these things up for you and with you. I'll help you with the industry. I'll help you choose the best high ticket places. I'll help you find the areas with the least amount of competition but the highest demand. I help you with reviews, automating everything, calls, tracking everything, automating the whole process, hiring someone to answer your call. So basically, if you're interested in that, schedule a call with me. First link in the description. I also do have a school community more so tailored to these lower ticket services. It's going to be the second link in my description. I kind of just have like a little mini course built out there on how to specifically make good money doing those. And that's basically it for this video. If you did find some value in it, please do like, please do subscribe. That's all I ask. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try to get back to them. And again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. I will see you all in the next video. Let's make some money. Thank you guys. Yeah, that's it.